Hi guys, welcome. If you're new here, I'm Edel and I really love to talk about books. For today's video, I'm going to talk about the books that I bought and read as a classic beginner. Most of people recommend all of this book, so it's not something unusual. I would say all of this is quite accessible, so it's easy to understand, especially if you have read multiple books in English. For the first one, I would recommend very short story which called The Yellow Wallpaper. I read it last month and I still remember my feelings. Like basically there's a plot twist that I cannot spoil yet. It's only 40 pages, 40 or 50 pages, I forgot. But in that such short story, you will get the feeling of classic books. The storyline is so interesting and the author doesn't ramble about things that is unnecessary or too detail. I read it on my Kindle, so if you have a Kindle, I would suggest you to read it on Kindle because it's such a short book. This is my most recent read, and I would say this is a mandatory read for everyone, so it's not just for a beginner classic reader. The Death of Ivan Ilyich is basically my first Tolstoy, and I would say it's pretty accessible. It's only 100 pages long, and there's another story actually inside of it. This is the second story, and the rest of this is the death of Ivan Ilyich. It's actually so short. This book is more impactful than the 500 pages long book that I've read. So we follow Ivan Ilyich's life and how he ended up being sick, and there's no cure for his sickness. So what we're gonna see is his thoughts, his regret in life, everything about his life. He kept reminiscing it in his head. This book just made me realize it is so important to do the things that we really want because we only have one life. I don't want to be in my deathbed and thinking about the things that I regret, not the things that I want to repeat in another life, or I just want to remember those things, the the amazing things that I really want to happen in my life and what I really want to do in my life rather than worrying about how can I get better than this. In this such short story, I would say Tolstoy really wrapped it up in a very incredible way. If you're ready for a bigger commitment, I would say try John Steinbeck. John Steinbeck writing is more accessible because it's a modern classics and it's a short one. This is 170 pages, I think. Of Mice and Men is about brotherhood, so they're not blood related, but I would say this is Joe Steinbeck describe how brother should be like. I don't know, I don't have a brother. I do have a sister, but I cried reading Of Mice and Men, and it's just so beautiful, like the way he wrote about them. It's called George and Lenny. Is it? Yes, it's George and Lenny. And Lenny doesn't have any sense. Like I would say he's mad. He's just not normal. Like, he's not mentally well. This is in the Great Depression era, and they both have a dream which to build a farm. Yeah, this is so beautiful, especially if you love sad story that makes your eyes aching. Next one, we have The Song of Achilles. This book. Okay, so everyone said that this is a sad book, but personally for me, I didn't cry throughout the book. I think it's because I already know what's gonna happen. So I would say the best way to just get into this book is not knowing anything except it's a Greek mythology with the retelling of Patroclus and Achilles. Madeline Miller wrote this book. I don't know, this book feels like a poetry, a beautiful poetry. Madeline Miller really described the atmosphere really beautifully that I feel like I'm in there. At the moment while I'm reading it, I feel like I'm there. So I'm seeing all of them in real time. Let's just appreciate the cover. This is the Bloomsbury Classic Edition. Had she really thought I would not know him? I could recognize him by touch alone, by smell. I would know him blind, by the way his breath came and his feet struck the earth. I would know him in death, at the end of the world. Patroclus is really in love with Achilles. I recommend this book if you love romance, but if you're okay with LGBT, and if you just love beautiful writing style with descriptive atmosphere, This book is really perfect for that. And if you love Greek mythology, this is the book that you need to start with. Also, this is a modern classic, so it's pretty accessible. The other book is White Knight by Dostoevsky. If you want to taste Dostoevsky writing, that is the perfect book, but it's different from his other works. I would say if you love romance, then go read that book. It's full of yearning. The most astonishing part is that at the end, I was confused. Like, what is this guy name? I thought I just don't remember the name, but turns out we never really know. We never got to know his name. We just know that he's yearning for this girl called Nastenka. So yeah, it's full of yearning and bad ending. If you really love romance, I would suggest you to start with this book, and it's a really short book. I think it's 100 pages long. And if you love Dostoevsky writing, I would say go start with Crime and Punishment or Notes from Underground. I would say Crime and Punishment first. The storyline is more intriguing, although the crime itself is only 100 pages and the rest of it is about his punishment. I would say there's so many things going on, and the development about his sense. This book is really beautiful. I will put my review video here, or go check my channel if you want to see the full review of me talking about this book. I actually rant about it for 10 minutes. And there's no way to start classics without Jane Austen. For me, I start with Sense and Sensibility because that is my main interest, which is sisterhood. I would say it really hits the jackpot. This book really lingered in my head for a long time. I read it about a month ago now, but I still think about this book and I annotate that much. This really explained how raw is sisterhood and how sister really live. As I also have an older sister, so I can talk from experience that this is what it feels like. And it's just feel like a warm hug that I can reread this book again. I would reread this book in the future. And for another sisterhood books, I would recommend Little Women. This book is actually kind of long and it's not that accessible, but I'm only halfway through it, so I can say that much. And these are the 5 recommendations that I get from other people. So I haven't read this, but I already bought it because I'm a beginner in classics too, and I'm trying to improve my reading. I'm trying to explore so many genre in classics, but also in fictions because I've tried reading a non-fiction classics and I don't like it. This is The Count of Monte Cristo. I know this book is so big, but people say this is so intriguing and you wouldn't want to put this down. And I'm really looking forward to it. As I said before, there is no way to start classics without reading Jane Austen. And this is Pride and Prejudice, which is the most recommended of her books. Pride and Prejudice is more accessible. You know the general story, so it will be more interesting, they said. But I haven't read this one. This is the Wordsworth edition of children classics. I bought 3 of them: The Secret Garden, Anne of Green Gables, and Little Women. Any of children classics, I would say, is pretty accessible. And the storyline is not that heavy, so you're just gonna get some points. It's not points, it's knowledge. No, it's not knowledge. Insight. Yeah, you would get an insight, and I don't know what is it. Wait, let me find the words. Wait, when you read something and you feel like you get something for yourself, that's what I'm trying to say, but I cannot find the words, so I'm just gonna say it like that. And the last book is also children classics. This is Alice Adventure in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. So it's 2 books in one book. I discovered for like 40 days because I really love this edition. I know it's kind of weird. It's not like Alice in Wonderland or anything. The vibes. It's just cute. Like you can see, who is she? I guess the evil queen, the misunderstood evil queen. If you have watched Alice in Wonderland, actually, I bought more classic than all of this that I show you, but I would say these are the most recommended book that I've seen on Book Talk, BookTube. These are pretty accessible and interesting. So if you want to start with classics, I would say read all of this.